So guys, listen, you ain't gonna believe this. I took this Z-Man chatterbait and I basically walked down one of these little natural area trails, came out to an opening in the water, saw some wakes and some blow-ups, cast it in there, set the hook. 3 or 4 minute fight later, and I mean a really good fight. I had my personal best, friggin' snakehead. Fish on! Taking a break from this for a while, doing some editing, but now I'm about to get on the road with that thing right over there, that beautiful thing. And yeah, aren't we also taking that?
We are. We're taking the baby.
We're taking that with us. She's gonna get in a kayak for the first time. Hey, where are we going?
We're going to Virginia.
Okay, what part of Virginia? That's
Stafford County, Virginia.
What all are we gonna do while we're there?
We're gonna go on the Potomac River, which I'm excited about because I've never fished on it. And you said that we're gonna catch a snakehead, but
nope. I said you are gonna catch a snakehead.
Well, if it's anything like pike, I'm gonna do everything I can to not catch a snakehead.
If it's anything like what?
Like pike in Wisconsin.
Pike? Is that? See, guys, there I go, proving my Alex Rudd, Kristie Hoover, East Tennessee. I is a different letter of the alphabet. So, are you not excited about catching a snakehead?
No.
Not even a little bit. Hold on. What about that much?
No.
No?
Do me think about it? No.
Anyway, you're no fun. Anyway, she's gonna catch a snakehead, whether she wants to or not. We're gonna hook up with the snakehead hunter. Look at that ferocious critter.
Said you have some treble hooks in the front seat, and one just got in my purse.
That is not what you said. Say it like you said it.
I did. That is.
Say it like you said
I can't even put the dog in here because the treble hooks.
Hey, aren't we coming up here to this area soon?
We are. We're gonna float the Green River through the Mammoth Cave National Park.
How long is the float?
Well, there's 2 different ones. There's one that's 3 to 4 hours, and there's one that's 5 to 6 hours. But the 3 to 4 hour one, you actually have caves that you can kayak in. I think that would be kind of cool.
What's the name of it?
Green River.
I meant for you to say it for everybody watching, woman. I didn't need you to overpronounce it for me. So if you're going north on I-65, what do you look for?
Oh,
so
it's the Cave City exit where the Mammoth Cave National Park is. And if you like caves, there's a bunch of them up here. There's Horse Cave, Diamond Cave. There's what's it called? Kentucky Down Under, and there's actually a cave in the park. But then you can also feed kangaroos, and there's all kinds of really cool things in that park.
There's a sign up there that says, "Ever pet a kangaroo?"
See, just as we're passing it. There's Horse Cave, Hidden River Cave. There's all kinds of caves up here. The Mammoth Cave, of course, is the biggest one, and Green River goes through the Mammoth Cave National Park. So it's pretty cool.
When are we doing that?
We were supposed to do it today, but we're doing it sometime next week now, I think.
Why?
Because now we're on our way to fish the Potomac River. We just had a change of rivers.
So I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but there's a Goodwill right over there that's got a Gold's Gym under it. It's Goodwill Gold's Gym, okay? Now, I want Kristie to tell you what she thought it was.
Y'all, I thought, because I couldn't see the bottom of it for a car, I thought it said Goodwill Gold. And I was like, wait, it's a whole nother level of Goodwill. Drop me off. Go do your business.
She literally wanted me to drop her off at this intersection before you get on I-95 and say, come back and pick me up. She was going to walk to the Goodwill Gold.
I mean, have y'all ever? They need to think about that for a new marketing plan.
See, what happened was you couldn't see the gym, right? Because she's vertically challenged. See, she don't even stick up above the seat. So she could only see Goodwill Gold. She said, oh my, wait a second. Is that a new level? She said, is that a new level of Goodwill? I was like, no, because I'm taller. I could see. You mean Goodwill and Gold's Gym? Oh, well, they should do that. All right, guys, so we just got checked into the room. I want to let her give a big shout out to somebody special for us.
Yeah, so thank you so much to Stafford, Virginia. Tour Stafford, Virginia is the Convention and Visitors Bureau section of Stafford that brought us here, and they wrote us this sweet thank you note just for bringing the tournament here and for being just
handwritten.
Yes,
handwritten,
old school, like totally appreciate. and then gave us this awesome goodie bag, one for me and one for Chad, because everybody knows he would.
And there's an organizer.
I know. He wouldn't share, so they were sweet and they gave us both away.
I wouldn't share, I would give you mine, woman.
So
anyway,
big props to Stafford County Tourism, because man, they step up every time that I'm around them, every meeting that we're at, and then just to walk into a hotel room and be so welcomed by this group is awesome. So thanks, guys.
Southern hospitality at its best,
That's
baby.
That's right.
All right, guys, so we just made it here to Virginia. It's time for a little bit of Double Shot of Love, which is basically a Jersey Shore spinoff. One of my favorite dead brain times. But anyway, here's a couple of things that I also really love. I like this hint water. Kristie found this stuff. It is fantastic. I like drinking water, but water with a little hint of something in it is great. I just picked this dude up right here, and I didn't know NRS made this, but it's called a paddle sock. And man, is that cool. Here's what it looks like. I'm gonna test it on the paddles this week to see if it protects them and gets rid of that clanking of them clapping around in the back of the truck. And then these dudes right here, I rigged up my latest depth finder with it, but I actually ordered a few more of them before I left home. But these Yak Power plugs, and pretty much everything these Yak Power guys make is so simple, easy, plug and play. You gotta check that stuff out. They're not a sponsor or anything like that, but literally if I find something great, I'm just gonna use it. And yeah, that stuff right there is phenomenal. And then this edition right here is the TLH1SH. This thing is bad to the bone. I've got 2 or 3 of these, but I added the 7:5-1. I'm gonna talk about gear ratios a little bit later, but I really like the 7:5-1 for buzz baits, for top toads and things like that. A lot of people are not a big fan of the higher speed gear ratios. In fact, Gerald Swindell did a video about it. But I'm going to talk to you about why high speed gear ratios are super important for kayak fishermen. But let me get this thing spooled up and on a rod, and I'll actually talk to you about it when I'm on the water. And yes, that was a foot model that just walked through the frame over there.
Really emotional. It's like very deep connections with both of them.
I actually served with that squadron right there, which is pretty cool. So guys, listen, you ain't gonna believe this. I took this Z-Man chatterbait and I basically walked down one of these little natural area trails, came out to an opening in the water, saw some wakes and some blow-ups, cast it in there, set the hook, 3 or 4 minute fight later, and I mean a really good fight. I had my personal best, friggin' snakehead. I came here to catch my personal best northern snakehead, but I plan on doing it out of the kayak, and I've already done it off the bank. So the only thing I can do better is get better. So I'm hooking up with Elmer, the Snakehead Hunter, 808 Snakehead Hunter. I'll put a link to his page in the description box. He is the aficionado for snakehead around here, but I literally just caught one by myself at my personal best from the bank on a chatterbait. Now I'm gonna try to catch another one. What? All right, guys, so listen, I made it over here to one of the marinas that is one of the launch sites here, and ran into one of the, we'll just refer to them as local hammers, and one of the guys that is what I would consider favored to win this event. You know, obviously you've got your more well-known big sticks out there, guys that have done well in KBF tournaments in the past, and if you're going for the safe pick, a lot of folks are going after those guys, but I think this guy right here off camera is probably the favorite to win. I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you why. What's going on, man?
How's it going?
So guys, this is Will Brewer, Will B. Basson on social media.
Yep.
So you fish the Potomac like 6 days a week, right?
Yeah, all the time. Every single day. It's one of my favorite spots.
No, for real. Tell everybody what you said when I called you.
So, yeah, I don't really fish the Potomac that much. I think this is like the second time I've ever been here. And I typically fish places like Hunting Run around the area, Mott's Reservoir, Lake Mooney. Those are all great lakes around the Stafford area. I catch a lot of bass and I catch a lot of big bass. I'm not a very good tidal waters type person, which is another reason why I fish these tournaments, to help me progress and become a better angler.
So here's the thing. It's crazy how well you can get to know somebody in social media.
Absolutely.
Like literally I follow this guy and I feel like I know him. And then the first time I actually met him in person was standing in line checking out at a store buying some tackle the other day.
Yep.
What did you say to me? You're like,
Yeah,
I can't believe you buy your own stuff. I'm like, well, I get 95% of the stuff that I get from FishUSA, but I was a dummy and I didn't prepare, and I was coming to a tidal frog river without frogs. I left my frog box at home. Actually, I'm going to clarify that. I have a son that likes to go fishing and thinks my stuff is his stuff, so therefore my frog box got misplaced. So found some frogs, found a couple of other things, and but here's what I wanted to talk about this for, right? So when I called Will, he's like, man, I hardly ever fish the Potomac. I got so many great lakes around here, I hardly ever fish it. And so you do these tournaments and you hear people say all the time, oh, you really can't compete with the locals.
Yeah.
Think about it, when you fish a lake or when you fish an area like Stafford, there's so many great fisheries and so many great rivers, especially when it comes to kayak fishing. A lot of guys in the kayak avoid these bigger bodies of water.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I can tell you one thing. I used to be stationed in Norfolk, and I used to come up here just to fish the tidal Potomac. And Jeff Little was a guy that I fished this with the first couple of times. And man, I'm gonna tell you, dude, when you learn to fish a tidal fishery and you learn how the tide positions the fish, it's a game changer, because it's probably one of the more predictable fisheries that you'll find, but you're also a slave to the tide.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So in an 8-hour tournament, you might have 2.5 hours of premium catchable fishery, and then after that, it's where do they go, right? And can you get them to eat? Because these fish are a lot like, you know, places where they pull water. If they're not pulling water, they're not biting.
Yep.
And so in this fishery, if the moon ain't pulling water, sometimes they're not biting. So talk to us about your pre-fishing, man. How's the pre-fishing been going?
Well, I kind of woke up a little late this morning, so I probably missed that premium bite. Pre-fishing today was a little tougher. Like I said, I don't fish this area that much, so my goal was to come out, just kind of explore the waters, kind of see what I was working with, what kind of structure, what kind of cover that I can work with. Just kind of run through a couple of baits.
So what did you figure out? Did you figure out anything that you're going to tomorrow, or did you figure out what you're not going to use?
I figured out everything that I'm not going to use. I can tell you that for sure. You know, I just kind of went through. I was trying to cover a little bit of water. I guess probably people know me for that. Every time they say, what are you going to do? I say, I'm going to cover water. And but that was my goal. I'm going to sit there and I'm probably cover a lot of water in the morning. I think being here early tomorrow, I think it's going to be a little bit different. I found a little spot that I think is going to progress and be really good throughout the day.
All right, so since this tournament will be over by the time this video comes out, if you're going to go to 3 baits tomorrow, right, and you were only going to use 3 baits in the tournament tomorrow, what would they be and why?
I'd probably use a buzz bait, a little bit of topwater action buzz bait. I would use a castleberry jig, flipping some of that harder cover, and a spinnerbait. I'd actually use a spinnerbait. A lot of people are chatterbait, but I kind of like using the spinnerbaits. I think it throws a little bit more flash in this muddy of water. That's where I got most of my bites on from Randleman whenever I fished that event. And I'm kind of use that confidence that I built off of that and bring it over to here to the Potomac.
Cool. Well, listen, I'm not familiar with a castleberry jig, so I imagine a lot of people at home aren't. Do you have one you could grab real quick and kind of give us the rundown on what makes a castleberry jig a castleberry jig?
So a castleberry jig, it's a veteran-owned company. That's kind of, I guess if you want to say my niche in the fishing market, I like to support veteran-owned companies. I'm a veteran myself.
Like KBF. Ha!
Like KBF. So there's a whole bunch of different types. So, you know, you have your standard football jigs and stuff like that. But the cool thing about castleberry is, if you look right there, they actually hand tie, but they wire tie it. So this skirt right here is not coming down. Where if you're getting a bite and stuff, you deal with that either rotting throughout the day with those O-rings. But I mean, you cannot get those things down. And another thing with these, they double cure these. So you can actually take it, and I have a video on it on my Instagram page where I'm actually rubbing it on the concrete and it still didn't get down to the lead. So they're very durable. The skirts last forever. They have very strong VMC hooks on them, and they're a veteran-owned company. You know, don't just think of it, hire them.
Cool. Pick that box up and spin around so we can show everybody the logo. Flip that logo over, and then we'll get a really good look at those. Nice. All right, pop that box up and let's get a good look at them jigs. Sweet.
So there's all different types of styles, and they got a lot of new things that are coming around. Different swim bait heads. They have a warlock head. They got one that I can't talk about right now, and that'll be heading out pretty soon. Their spinner baits are awesome. Really big willow leaf blades on them. Like I said, you just can't beat the paint on them themselves. I've tried. Literally, you're going to lose the jig before you beat the paint off.
All right, so listen, Will, before we go, there's one question I got to ask you. All right, so obviously very few of us can do what we do without the support of awesome sponsors. So you already talked about Castleberry Jigs. You guys check them out. I'll link them up in the description box. Love supporting veteran-owned companies. But who else do you want to thank that helps you do what it is you do?
Yeah, I mean, I also get support from Outdoor Dreaming. It's another veteran-owned company. He's actually my corpsman in the Marines, so we kind of linked up. He lives up in Maryland. Check him out. It's nice sunwear. I wear this all the time. Anytime you see me out fishing, you'll always see me wearing an Outdoor Dreaming apparel, whether it's the Sun SPF shirt or a hat or something like that. I'd also like to thank a lot of the sponsors for NVKBA because we're hosting this event. We have Amped Outdoors, Yak Attack. Man, there's just so many. It's hard for me to name them all, but I appreciate every single
We'll
one
link
of
up
them.
NVKBA in the description box, and I want to come over here and give a little special love right there. You guys see that? Northern Virginia Kayak Bass Anglers, the host and the ones that make possible us to have these type of events, especially during all the craziness that's going on with COVID. We would not have been able to pull this event off if it wasn't for the support of those guys. So Mike Ortega, Will, and the team over there at NVKBA, you guys are freaking awesome. I am planning to come back here in the fall and do some fun fishing, but it's awesome to see you guys out here doing well and kicking butt. Appreciate it, man. Get yourself loaded up, and I'll see you tomorrow on the water.
Will do.
So before we go, there's another guy over here lurking in the shadows, getting his stuff ready. That's I mean, he probably doesn't need an introduction at this point, but that is none other than KBF DZ, the 10 alumni, and the Northeast Regional Champion last year. That's Mr. Casey Reed. Casey, what's up, man? So talk to us about your fishing so far, bro. How's it been going?
It's been a tough day. I got on the water about 30 minutes after sunrise this morning and went out, did a bunch of flipping, and got a few bites. Had some decent bites, it felt like, but I never saw them. So right
So
now,
what's the plan for tomorrow, man?
right now that's my game plan. Gonna go just flip until I can't flip no more.
So listen, there are some guys that go out there and just somehow or another always seem to wreck them. But there's one thing that I can tell you about this dude right here. If there was a award for making every bite count, he would be the Make Every Bite Count Angler of the Year every single year, because he just seems to have a different level of mental toughness. It doesn't matter how good the fishing's going or how bad the fishing's going. He doesn't stop until the freaking buzzer at the end of the event, and he always seems to be able to figure something out. So keep the lookout for this guy right here. All right, guys, so listen, we just made it over to Six Bears and a Goat. If you saw my last Stafford trip video, we did a tour of the brewery. So I got this little pretty thing right there joining me for this one. So we're gonna see if we can set her up for the brewery tour. But the problem is we're not sure because of all the COVID stuff. And this place is supposed to be like shut down, but there are cars all the way that direction. And then if you look back here, there are cars like all down the side of the road. So come over here, baby, real quick. Let this 18-wheeler go by. So listen, if I know you, and I do, yes, let's let this truck go by. So if I know you, and I do, you've already pre-screened the menu.
Yes.
Okay, see what I mean?
Some of it.
She was probably looking at the menu all the way over here on her phone. So one thing that I will tell you is this. We've both been really good doing the keto thing and the intermittent fasting, experimenting with the alternate day fasting, all that good stuff. We'll talk about that in another video. But the cool thing about this place is everything on their menu is 100% keto.
I don't think so.
100%. Today, everything on their menu is 100% keto. What do you think?
No.
So what did you find on there that you think you wanted?
I really want the Parmesan truffle fries.
Bam, that's keto. What else?
I actually want like every appetizer that was listed.
So look, all right, we're gonna walk. So get over here so we can see you in the frame. So listen to this. This place is freaking. This place is freaking fantastic. And the reason, this is my up angle where I can get Kristie down there, and it still looks pretty good.
It looks like we're equal right now.
So here's the thing. This place is freaking fantastic. It's called Six Bears and a Goat. What that means is it's a bunch of Coast Guard officers and a Navy officer. Now they had to have the Navy officer in there to be able to tell them, you know, how to do things, right? Because that's how it kind of works. Anyway, I'm just messing with it. Anyway, so Six Bears and the Goats, a bunch of Coast Guard guys and a Navy guy that got together and created a brewery. and they have the absolute best beer I've ever drank in my life. It's the best beer that I've ever drank and the best name for a beer ever. It's called Zero Dark 30, 100% keto. So if you're on the keto diet and you're in town, it has got 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 fat, 0 protein.
Just on days that you
It's
didn't like,
basically
right?
just like drinking heaven air. It's like heaven air. So if you come to Six Bears and a Goat, try the truffle fries and wash it down with
I'll
a
let you know how
0
those truffle
calorie.
fries are.
Wash it down with a 0 calorie keto beer called Zero Dark 30. And tell them Chat sent you. Hope you're enjoying the content that's been coming out lately. Thank you so much for your support. Love y'all. See you in the next video.
So I open up the thing and it says, take home some beer today. So I feel like it's written, like it's typed out. That's a rule.
Here's the problem though. If we take it home, it's not keto. It is only 0 calorie inside this building right here. See what I'm saying?
I did not know
It's
that.
like a magic,
I didn't know
it's
that
magic
rule.
force field around the place.
That's amazing. So they can make all of their food and beer calorie free
Yes.
and keto.
Now, as soon as you walk out the front door over there, all the calories hit you. But
Oh.
while you eat it in here, you're
I can feel